Our condition shifting over to bearish in this bull market. We'll take a closer look here at some price patterns. We're seeing the momentum starting to curl back down here again. That bull market rank sitting at 26.62 or 26.26 and starting to soften right here. We know that we're at the top end of this long-term 2-year bullish market and in this long-term uptrend and due for some retracement and pullback. We're seeing weakness across momentum now, shifting over into that bearish trend location, and also breadth weakening, not quite down in that bearish trend location, but getting there. And sentiment also continuing to be soft right here at these levels. We're seeing buy-sell ratio also with bears still in control with a buy-sell ratio of 0.52. Essentially, that means 2 to 1 for bears, and continuing to see that overall weakness really for the last couple of weeks or so. We're seeing sentiment shifting back below that 50% line. If you just kind of draw a line, eyeball it across here, you can see sometimes it'll find some support resistance here. So now we're down under that underside, so trending this direction, not quite to that extreme area yet. So we could see a couple of points where a couple of locations where we're watching for some support, but this could add some additional weakness to the markets. We'll see what the election result ultimately does for the market here as well. Let's jump over and look at the S&P 500, a couple of other indices. S&P is sitting right on that 236 support area. We've got now a couple of days of support right here. You can see there's a pretty wide void down to that next range right here, meaning that this open space right here, we've got some support, a little bit of support happening right here as well. So we've got to see if this holds up. It's still in momentum and still above the 236, but we are now starting to start to shift the overall trend structure to down to a bearish trend. We get these green uptrending moves. We get the yellow, kind of the transitionary phases, and then ultimately it's going to either find some support and continue here, or it's going to continue to advance within that current trend structure that it's in, which is now bearish. And again, lots of news coming up here for the next couple of days for the markets to digest. Let's jump over to sectors and getting additional confirmation with this sectors sheet as well. We're seeing everything in either holds or sells, and only a couple of short-term uptrends. So we've got the bulk of sectors also in transition phases or downtrends. Currently, we're seeing commodities also weaken, silver, some softness here, but pulling back to this support range here and watching to see if we do see some additional demand starting to come in at this location. Also seeing gold, which is holding up pretty decent here as well. A couple of days, 2-3 days of retracement for GLD, and USO working on an attempted uptrend. We've kind of been feeling this now, really this entire move that we've had over the last month and a half from up to down, back to support and working our way back up again. We'll see which side wins, the bulls or the bears, but we've got some bullish undertones starting to happen here on USO. If we jump over to the new buy list, take a look here at a couple of interesting price patterns and stock names here. LUMN, which has been a real big high flyer, had this massive move from $1 to $8, really consolidating this trend and finding a lot of demand right here at this 236 location. You can see just quite a few days of pausing right there. Nobody's selling, nobody's buying. Now we're starting to see some buyers start to step back in here on LUMN. Keep an eye on that one. Potential breakout, and when it starts to pull in a lot of those additional traders and you get some volume coming into these names, they can really have some nice moves to the upside and to the downside. There's going to add a significant volatility there as well. Also seeing BLFS having a nice move here, good confirmation move back into momentum. If we come back out to the 1-year time frame, get a little bit wider perspective of that. You can see in that 1-year time frame, it's also structurally working on these support resistance locations here, finding some support, working its way back up, now getting that additional demand confirmation starting to come into this name as well. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.